but not realizing that I'm manifesting the wrong energy to be happy. Powerful thoughts can be very magical, can create anything I would like to have in my life without thinking of the things. And then how that gets shared with humanity. Now that's a big form of gratitude, because whatever you share, the world will bless you back with it.
When there is confusion about whether I'm going in the right direction or whether I'm going in the totally opposite direction, how do you reflect and how do you identify what mistakes block the path of manifestation?
Now we have something called the traffic control of the mind. If I can pause for 1 minute and just hold a pure affirmation of myself, I'm just amazed.
Thank you.
At what is in the soul that is so beautiful.
Thank you so much.
It's like every word you speak, as a young person, it's like it's diamonds.
Hi, I'm Kaavya Ramani, a Bollywood actress, best-selling author, and a success mentor based in New York. WishCraft Conversations is a podcast series on manifestation where I explore the true meaning of success through conversations with inspiring people from around the world. This podcast is also available on Spotify. If this resonates with you, please subscribe, like, and share this episode with 3 more people. It might change their life and yours too. To learn more and be a part of this growing global movement, please search Manifest with Kaavya Ramani. This is my website. Enjoy the episode. Welcome to the very first episode of WishCraft Conversations, and I would like to start this podcast with a very spiritual greeting. Om Shanti. I am Kaavya Ramani, a Bollywood actress, best-selling author, and someone who truly believes in the power of thoughts, energy, and action to shape our lives. I have learned about success and manifestation from my parents, from my dad, Dr. Brahma Ramani, who is a spiritual scientist and a mentor for human potential development. Over the years, I've learned that manifestation is not magic. It is a practice, a mindset, and a lifestyle. And that's why I started this series. WishCraft Conversations is a space where we talk to inspire people and explore how clarity, vibrations, and inner alignment can transform our destiny. This series is a part of my 3rd book, Wishcraft Manual, which is on its way very soon. The wisdom, the stories, and the insights shared in these podcast conversations will become a part of the book. So what we create here together will reach thousands more, and this series is my way to learn, to share, and to help others discover their own inner power. Today's launch is incredibly special because we are starting this journey with someone whose presence itself feels peaceful, powerful, and spiritual. My guest today is the ever-inspiring, as I call her, she's the ever-inspiring Sister Anjani, the director of Global Harmony House in New York, which is not only the national headquarters of Brahma Kumaris, World Spiritual Organization in the United States, but also the regional headquarters for the entire Americas. Global Harmony House is a spiritual lighthouse where people from all backgrounds, come to learn Raj Yoga meditation, experience inner calm, and reconnect with their true self. And Sister Anjani plays a central role in guiding thousands towards that light. She is someone who carries both wisdom and humility, and every conversation with her feels like a gentle awakening. I've met her only a couple of times, but every time I felt a natural spiritual connection. Like she speaks not just to the mind, but directly to the soul. Her teachings on thoughts, vibrations, intention, and the power of sankalp have guided so many people, including me, to see manifestation not just as magic, but as a science of consciousness. And today, she is here with us for all the listeners to help us understand how spirituality and manifestation truly work together, and how thoughts, emotions, feelings align together to let us manifest the way we want, and how we create our own world. And so, with deep respect, love, and gratitude, I welcome Sister Anjani, because I've just got to know that she has never been on screen before, and she has done this for me, for my manifestation podcast, and this is in itself a biggest present for me. But as you guys know, the whole podcast is going to be very, very inspirational. Stay tuned till the end.
Thank you for being here. Om Shanti.
I am so grateful to be here with you, Kaavya. The first moment I set eyes on you, I saw a little angel.
Thank you so much. So I just want to start with the questions because I know there's a lot we will discuss during this podcast. So before we start with the knowledgeable question and answer section, I'd like to ask you, how did the spiritual journey of yours begin? I want to know a little bit about your story.
Pretty interesting story, and that's going back 42 years ago. My cousin used to visit me, and she had started the journey through, it's called correspondence course, and so which means it's mail-in. And then she used to come and visit us because we shared the same grandmother. So she would come pretty often, and then she would talk about the knowledge. And at that time, I was very deep in my devotional feelings and experiences of life, going to the temples, doing all the beautiful things. And I enjoyed it, not knowing, not having a broader vision of the experiences of what's there. But it was much later that I said, okay, let me start listening. One day she said to me, would you wake up 4 o'clock in the morning to meditate with me? And I said, 4 a.m. is the time I sleep. I don't wake up at that time. And then the next morning, I was very aware that she woke up. So I got out of my bed and I sat with her and my grandmother, and we were meditating together. I have no clue what is meditation, but I just sat there quietly. But the experience that I received, just being there, was a powerful silence. It was a peace that had no words in it. And it created an instant shift in my consciousness. It's as though an awakening instantly happened. That I started to see things different throughout the day. I was more in a very deep space of peace and silence. And then she asked me, would you like to go visit the main center, which was in Guyana, in Georgetown? And I said, why not? So that's how my journey began. And it's a very long journey.
Wow. And so this journey tells us about how unexpected things happen.
Just to reflect back on, because when I started to understand what is knowledge as I am a soul, I started to understand what is it to be a Hindu, what it means that they're doing all these practices. So I was able to put it all together. Or else when I was doing those practices, I didn't understand what I was doing. But understanding spirituality helped me to understand the religion itself.
Yes, understanding the fact, understanding the meaning behind, certain activities, certain actions gives you the strength to mean when you're doing it.
That's right.
And so I would like to understand the meaning of Om Shanti.
It's a greeting that we use at the Brahma Kumaris.
Yes.
Om means I am. Shanti means I'm peaceful. So I see myself and feel myself to be peaceful, and that is the soul. And as I see you, I also see you as a peaceful soul, the being of light. So you are light, I am light. So we are meeting together today. Light meets light.
Wow, phenomenal. Let's begin with something basic. When we talk about manifestation or when we talk about spirituality, how do these two go hand in hand?
I see that when I think of peace and I use peace, I'm manifesting peace. Someone will have the experience of that peace. So what I have emerged and manifest will be peace. So I could do any quality I choose to in life. Love, peace, happiness, patience. Any quality that I feel I need. The more I can connect with the soul, the more I can connect with the divine power, the supreme power, as we say, God, the supreme soul,
Yes.
the supreme source of everything I need. So once I'm connected with that source and I'm using that spiritual power, I'm actually manifesting it. So manifestation for me would be something that is hidden, it emerges, and it serves. It doesn't only serve me, but it serves everyone else because it's pure energy.
Well said, but definitely this is something that has been defined by you very, very simply. And this is something if any person would implement this in their lives, this is something that's very, very helpful to them intellectually, spiritually, and in the life of materialistic things also.
If we look around in our world today, what you see is being manifested quite a lot. I'm using your word, manifest.
Yes.
Is something that is very visible. You're actually seeing it today. It's very physical. It's very gross in a way. And that is the anger, the greed, and the arrogance. You know, all these negative energies is just flowing in the world. It's like a contagious disease today. And one can't even discern if it's the right thing to do or the right thing to be today. People think that it's natural. I must be angry. I must be aggressive to get what I want in life. But not realizing that I'm manifesting the wrong energy to be happy. And so if I'm manifesting the wrong energy to be happy, the end result of that will be of sorrow. Because of what I'm doing, I'm giving sorrow. And so what is going to be my return back will be of sorrow.
Of sorrow.
Because what I'm creating is what is going to be my life. I'm creating my life at every second.
Yes.
So I have to be very aware of these things. And you use the word consciousness because I have to be conscious of what's happening in my consciousness.
Yes.
Because the subconscious is very subtle. And sometimes we are not aware of it. Because we are so busy in the external, we're not taking time to listen to that inner voice that's speaking to us.
Speaking of which, I would like to skip to the question that I had in mind since a long time. People say meditation is something where you just sit silently and that's all you do. Do you think there is more to meditation, and what is the importance of meditation to attain ultimate happiness and to manifest what you want?
Meditation is amazing. The experience of meditation, which is very spiritual, it removes me from the things that is physical. It's an awareness. It removes me in a conscious way. I am separating my conscious thoughts away from that which is physical. And the focus becomes on the self, the spiritual being, the light, the energy. So when I am in that awareness of my true self, it's as though that shift, I am meditating. So I'm thinking, but what am I thinking? I shift my consciousness from the physical, the external, to my own true self. And in that state, I'm still using my mind, but my mind is creating very peaceful thoughts, very natural thoughts, thoughts of beautiful feelings for others. And in that state, the soul is meditating while I'm in action. You could be cooking, you could be at school, you could be anywhere, but you are in action while meditating. You can also choose to sit back, relax, and say, okay, let me spend some time creating some beautiful thoughts for myself. Now, it's my choice. It's as though I'm in command of what I'm doing. I'm aware of what I'm thinking. So all of this creates a very beautiful experience inside. And whatever it is that I want is emerging from there. So the process is very natural. It's not something I'm struggling for. It's not something that I can create a lot of thoughts for. It's very simple.
The power of sankalp has always been a part of my life, and I have seen that the power of sankalp is also taught in the Brahma Kumaris, and resolutions is something I have, followed all my life. So how can people create powerful and pure thoughts in the form of resolutions that maybe they're not living right now, but they want to live in the future?
Sure. It's a very, very beautiful question or thoughts in that direction. How can we have powerful thoughts? See, negative, it's an energy, right? Positive energy, negative energy. So negative energy will come from the consciousness of everything that is physical and from my desires, something that I expect. So that energy is pushing me, and you can achieve it, right?
Yes.
Many people achieve many things out there through greed, for example. Greed is pushing them. And so if greed is pushing me in that direction, I will have what I want, but I will not be happy. But in the consciousness of that powerful thought, in a very pure way, in a very peaceful way, you will accomplish without even asking, without even thinking that I want something. Everything will come to you. Because spiritual power is an energy that brings everything which is spiritual. So I don't have to ask for anything. I don't even go to God and say, oh God, give me this. Oh God, take care of this. It's like giving my list to God and telling him what he has to do. He doesn't know what he has to do. So I am telling him what he has to do. But I believe that powerful thoughts can be very magical. Powerful thoughts can create anything I would like to have in my life without thinking of the things. Or even if I create a thought of something that has to benefit the world, it doesn't have to be a lot of thoughts. I'll just go back to one example. I'm just remembering of the head of the organization. She passed away in 2007, but her name was Prakash Mani. And right now in our headquarters in Mount Abu, in Shantivan, we have one of our buildings that can sit 20,000 people. And one day she just had this thought. We're going to have a building that is going to sit 20,000 people. Just this thought. And this thought was shared. And it's amazing that in no time, the whole BK family around the world supported that thought.
Wow.
And in no time, the structure was built, and it's a freestanding structure. And thousands of people visit that place every year. And so the power of the pure thought is to benefit humanity, to help others, to uplift them. So pure thoughts are actually powerful thoughts. It generates an energy that it's an energy to serve. And that's what we do at the Brahma Kumaris. Our thoughts are really for the world. How can we help our brothers and sisters out there? So much sorrow, pain, suffering, confusion, chaos. That peace which I have in me, can I share that with the family of the world? Now, that's powerful thought.
Yes. How does a person know if a thought or a goal of theirs is a desire or something that they want out of ego? Or how do they reflect over their own choices? And how do they healthily go towards the path of manifestation, as I say?
See, I feel that goals set, if it's a goal of, take for example, you're studying, you have a goal at school, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what you would like to, and how you would like to see yourself in another 5 years, for example, and 10 years. So you have those goals, and what you're doing, you're working towards those goals. But if I allow my desires, that I set myself up for competition, I want to compete with others, that's when the stress starts. But if I'm natural and I set myself a goal that, okay, I'm going to become, I want to be a very good actress, for example. You're in that field.
Yes.
And your life will be for motivating others, that you can be whatever is the qualities you want to express and share with the world through acting. You can serve the world. So when my motive is clear, determination is easy and natural, because you start enjoying what you're doing. You're not doing it because I want to be famous, for example. People do want to be famous, and it's okay. But in a spiritual sense, famous could also come with a big price tag.
Yeah.
So I'm not looking for that kind of fame. Let me be natural enough in what I'm doing that it will bring fame, but I'm not chasing it like my shadow. It is as though the fame is behind and my motive is in front of me. My aim is in front of me. I see that as my goal, not a desire. Desires have many thoughts. Desires will make me think a lot. But a pure thought doesn't have desire in it. And so in meditation, our aim is that if I'm creating 10 thoughts for one thing, it is too much. I don't need to create so many thoughts, but it's to hold that pure thought with pure feelings and live my life with that in a determined way. And then you see how everything flows with that. If I have the thought, you know what, I need to have more patience in my life. So I'm not going to get upset with myself if I lose patience. But the aim is, if I lose patience, I'm going to step 10 steps forward because I'm consciously aware I lost my patience at that moment. Let me step back into patience. So I'm not criticizing myself. I'm not putting myself down, but I take a leap into standing stronger because patience is my goal. And so I take that step and experience what patience feels like. Because I understand what patience is. Patience is not passive. Patience is a very important quality. But at the same time, it needs to be in balance. Because if it's not in balance, I could also have others taking advantage of my patience.
Yes.
And so I'm not setting myself up for that. But I have patience and also my self-respect, my own dignity. But how can I be patient for someone who doesn't have patience?
Yes, definitely. That was something that, was very knowledgeable, and I got to know that I don't know, that was the very first time I got to know something like that. You have to phrase your thoughts correctly so that it does not become something out of ego or your desire. It has to be something that is a pure thought. Because at the end, what you want has to be the byproduct. The main thing, the main motive of yours has to be pure in order for you to manifest purely and to manifest not out of ego.
Right.
Definitely. Wow, I am enjoying this podcast so far. And something that I'm really curious about is, people always say, and I kind of believe it too, that we have to face the consequences of our actions from this life, from our past life, and we call it the Karma-Phal belief, right? So tell us a little bit about it, the belief, and do you believe it or not? and then I'll ask the following question.
You see, the word karma means actions. And so whatever actions we perform, it's seeds sown. See, thoughts are seeds. Actions are seeds sown. Now, if I can change things on a thought level and create what is it that I would like to experience, I'm great. But we find it doesn't happen like that. Our thoughts move into actions because we don't pause. We don't take a step back and look at those thoughts before we move them into actions, and sow their seed sown. So can you imagine you have a plot of land, and what are you going to sow on that land? You would want to sow the best of seeds, right? If I sow the seeds of weeds and thorns, I'm the one who's going to be experiencing what I've sown there. And so in real life, the thorns that we create for ourselves through our thoughts, then through our actions, is the thorns of anger, jealousy, fear, disheartenment, hopelessness. There's so much negativity that one uses every day, not realizing that I'm creating my world and it's a world that I'm going to be living in. And we are all living in those worlds that we have created. But because we are not seeing that I have created it, I think someone else created it for me. And when we can't find someone who created it, we find God. So we always have to look outside that someone created my world. And in our study, no one has created my world. I have created the world I'm living in.
Yes.
So if it's a happy world, great, it tells me the story of my life.
Amazing.
That somewhere in the past, I've been on a beautiful journey and I've given a lot of happiness and shared a lot to humanity. And at this point in time, abundance is there. But if I'm going through life and there is a lot of crisis, it's not for me to get disheartened with the crisis, but it's to understand that the crisis is coming from as a consequence. So let me take a step back and look at things on a bigger picture and ask myself, what is it that I want? What is it that I would like to experience? And how can I now take a step of change? Change is a big thing. Not many people like changes. People like to stay with the same rhythm. How can I make the change in my life? Now, that's the effort one needs to make. Or it's a natural awareness of moving back to the self. I just want to be my true self. I just want to be, if God looks at me, He must say, you are my child. Can I feel that? But if I'm going to think from a place of all those insecurities and negativity, I can't feel how God will see me and want to be that. So it's looking at myself and seeing that truth and sowing the seeds that will bring the fruit of happiness.
And so, the most asked question about Karma-Phal to me is that, now I have done my karma, and now even if I regret it, I cannot do anything about the karma. But now, if I start manifesting, would it be possible for me to erase the consequences or to let me live my life peacefully now? Would that happen? Or would it just fade the intensity of the consequences? How does this work?
Interesting question. See, if we have given a lot of sorrow to others, I can't just be happy, right? I've caused sorrow.
Yes.
So I've sown the seeds of sorrow. But when we start studying this meditation, the most profound thing about this meditation is that because we don't know our past, our present is a reflection of our past. So if my present is reflecting my past, I have an opportunity now to go to God. And so I go to God with great honesty, with a great deal of love. Just like you talk to your father and you say, Papa, this is what happened today, and I just want to share with you, or your mom. So you have a beautiful relationship with them. And they will help you to make whatever happened easy, whether you were wrong or whether you were right. It doesn't matter. The point is, it's the relationship. Now here I have the company of God. And I feel myself close to God. I go to God with a feeling of even my mistake and sharing that. So what will God do? He will bless me because of my honesty. And at that same time, He will also fill me with the power that I need to not make those mistakes again. And that's where transformation begins. It begins with my honesty. The honesty that I have towards myself and the honesty that I have in my relationship with God. And my honesty in relationship with people. And so the changes starts happening in a very natural way. So what you're going to be creating is what is going to be beautiful, because now it becomes your choice. Before, it was not my choice. It was more compulsive behavior. I was just acting without thinking.
Yes.
So even though the world believes in the law of karma, they can't apply it in their lives. Hardly you see someone is really consciously aware that their thoughts are becoming their actions, and their actions is becoming their attitude, and it's becoming how I'm creating my world. I can see it very clearly.
So it all depends on how you create your world.
Yes.
And it all starts
With your
from,
thoughts.
yes, with your thoughts.
One seed can bring you, take for example, a tiny little tomato seed. Gives you a tree laden with tomatoes. You take those tomatoes and you go and you plant it again. You will get an acre of tomatoes. So it's the same pattern. It's the law. So I create one thought. And if the thought is pure, the fruit is abundance. And in negative, as I say, you have to create a lot. And what will come forth from that?
See how easy the universe, the God, the nature has made it for us to create a very pure and positive world. All we have to do is keep and be mindful of our thoughts, and they will, gradually create a world full of purity and positivity. And gradually, automatically, your karma, your actions would reflect the positivity. And then your consequences would not be something that you did not want or would not be unpleasant, but instead it would be something that's a gift, a present for you.
It's very uplifting.
Yes, it is very uplifting.
And that's what is your happy life that you're creating.
Yes.
That's your life where you feel that, you don't want to get caught up in the mundane things of life that give sorrow. But you have a purposeful life. Life becomes more purposeful.
Yes. And so I've seen many people who have, past subconscious thoughts that they are not able to change. And so now they want to manifest, but this thought of the past is not letting them move forward. How can someone reprogram their emotional vibration and their subconscious thoughts, with if their subconscious beliefs are stronger than the conscious thoughts that they're trying to, implement in their life? How can someone reprogram their emotional thoughts?
See, first we have to understand how that subconscious thoughts got there. How did it create it? Where did it come from? And so we have journeyed through time in our lives. We can't say how many lifetimes we have lived through, but we are moving from one lifetime to another lifetime with what we call sanskars. And sanskars is basically my personality traits. Sanskars is whatever actions I do, whatever thoughts I create, it's leaving an impact on the soul. It's creating my personality. So what starts happening, we are faced with that at this moment. And it has become a personality crisis. And if you look around, everyone is having a lot of difficulties with that. So this, even in one sleep, the subconscious that's the time subconscious emerges.
Yeah.
When we are awake, that's our conscious thinking. Sometimes we can change it, or if we don't change it and we use what we have merged as a subconscious, it emerges in the consciousness, you find that you can't control it. But how do I know that what's my subconscious looking like? It's when I'm asleep, in my dreams. It shows up. And because it's your subconscious, you start to move in that feeling, that emotion. And that's when you find that you're afraid of what you dream of. You go through different experiences. Some are happy, some are sad, some are fearful, all different kinds of emotions. But in this meditation that we teach here and we practice, we are going back to the core of the being. We are going back to a time when the soul only knows that which is pure. And I like to always think about it when I was with God, when I was with that Supreme Soul, my Father. What was I like? What was the experience like? Just think about it for a moment. Go back in that time, in that moment, that the one whom I call the Supreme, and I was with that one, what was it like? Now, that feeling, you'll find that it's so pure, it's so clean, it's so elevated, it's highest. That's the consciousness of who I am in my purest form. So the more I return to that space of purity, that natural state of being in the soul, I'm being who I am. And then I have the power to change my subconscious. I have the power to change even my dreams, because I am consciously aware of who I am in my true nature of being. I'm consciously aware of the highest power, whom there is a feeling of belonging and relationship. So it removes all the other feelings, and what remains is what is pure and happy.
Definitely. Now that we're talking about positivity, one part of positivity is gratitude. So, in your life, what role has gratitude played in your life? And also, what role does it play in our human life in general when you are aiming to, be in that positive aura?
Right? I feel that I have a lot to be grateful for. I can go back to my parents and say, thank you very much for bringing me into the world and give me what I have as I was growing up. But then, and the whole family. But then when I look at my purpose in life, I'm very grateful that God found me. I'm grateful to Mother Nature. Mother Nature is really serving us at every step of life. I love waking up in the mornings and stepping out of the house, and my first thought is, good morning, Mother Nature.
Oh, wow.
Good morning. It's as though I appreciate Mother Nature for what it's giving to me. And I say good morning to all the souls of the world. My first thought when I wake up is good morning to God. But when I step out of the door, it's good morning to Mother Nature and good morning to all the souls of the world. Now, that's for me is my pure thoughts, that I'm connected with the world. And I serve the world with a pure thought, may you all be happy. And then I move on to what I have to do. So this feeling of gratitude comes from generosity of heart. That the more the heart is big and want to give, I'm not seeing that I have to get. The giving is actually receiving.
And the more you give, the more you feel.
Yes.
Definitely.
See, it's back to the quality of thoughts I create, right? Everything will start from the seed, right? You look at a whole big tree. It started with a seed, that tiny seed. And so I have to have what I need so that I can give. And if I don't have it, how can I receive it? And that's the consciousness between the soul, that the soul recognizes and realizes, and then I go to God. And then how that gets shared with humanity. Now that's a big form of gratitude, because whatever you share, the world will bless you back with it.
Yes.
And that's another form of gratitude and manifestation, because you're sharing to manifest. See, people want, there's a desire, and they manifest. But this, you're sharing for the best to return without even asking.
Without asking. That
Yes.
is the best part of it. You never ever have to ask
for anything.
for it.
Not even from God.
Not even from God. That is the most beautiful thing about it.
Yes.
And so I think, and many people, many successful people have said that, and I suppose you believe so too, that manifestation is something that is the alignment of thoughts, actions, and emotions, which are sankalp, bhavana, and karma. Do you think, because many people still think that manifestation is something which is just wishful thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Not many people are still, strong enough to believe in this concept. What do you have to say to them? The alignment of these three things. How does that help in achieving manifestation?
See, one is emotion. It means my feelings is in motion. It's in movement, right? And so I wouldn't want to use the word emotion, because emotion could take me on a high and a low. And which means it's not stability. There isn't stability internally. I would rather use the word a pure feeling.
Yes. Yes.
And so my thoughts, my actions will bring to me very pure feelings, happy feelings, joyful feelings, generous feelings. But if it is emotions, you will find,
there's ups and downs.
It's like a wave. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, and you're conditioning yourself. But in this space of creating pure thought, you're not conditioning. You're just in that knowing, in that awareness of yourself, and in that being who you are. Then the being is being natural. So my actions will be natural. So I'm not pretending to be good. I'm not putting up a show to be in a certain way. What I am will take expression. So trusting the process is going to help anyone to achieve whatever it is that they would like to achieve in their lives. But if I'm chasing after something, there will be a lot of sorrow in that.
I know. Patience.
Yes.
Is the most important thing that is necessary for you in order to achieve what you want, because the God is in a higher dimension, and for him everything is now. For us is a year, 5 years, 6 months. The time for us is bigger than what it is for him. So then what I call the universe, but it is actually the God. So whenever I ask, or I put an affirmation in the universe, I have to be patient enough, because for God it is now, and He says the tastu. For us it takes time, so we need the consistency, as you had mentioned earlier in our previous meeting. Would you like to mention the idea of consistency once again, because that was a very interesting topic?
See, whatever we are thinking and whatever we are doing, first it needs patience, but also it needs the quality of determination. Because if I don't have determination, and determination basically is to hold that pure thought.
Yes.
Take, for example, if I get upset easily and I say, I want to be peaceful. So I am peaceful will become my affirmation. So I will hold that thought. I will wake up with it in the morning. I am a peaceful soul. I am a peaceful being. I am light. I'm child of the ocean of peace, who is God. So as I spend time with this thought is becoming more real in my life, because I'm watching and I'm observing how my own thoughts are changing. Now that starts becoming the consistency. I am moving from a place where I was having 10 thoughts of weakness of myself or the situation to 10 thoughts which are peaceful. Then think about it, that you keep increasing those thoughts. What are you creating? Now that's where your consistency keeps growing. It's like you make halwa.
Yes.
It has to have its right consistency, right?
Yes.
When you put the flour in the ghee and you start the process of making halwa, what does it look like? There's no consistency there. Everything is kind of mixed here,
Yes.
there. Then you put your sugar, you put all your spices, whatever you need in it, and you have to kind of mix it. And then at the end, you know when the consistency, when it's right and it's done, because it starts separating from the pot. And you say, oh, this halwa is done. It's not sticking to the pot. Now, look at the process until you reach that consistency. You reach the final. You reach where this is the perfect halwa. Now, it's the process we also have to go through with ourselves. I can't rush the process. I have to take the same time that you need to go through that. And then you're going to have the result. So meditation actually brings to you the qualities that you need to work through all of these things to be where you would like to be in life.
Yes. And so coming back to the concept of thoughts, actions, and the feeling of purity. And so there are people who are, practicing manifestation, trying to align their thoughts and actions and feelings. But at some point, there is this confusion of whether I am going in the right direction or not. Because I have the privilege to ask you my confusions and to, make it clear what is in my head. But people are not that privileged. They watch videos like we are providing them knowledge. So for them, I would like to ask you, when there's confusion about whether I'm going in the right direction or whether I'm going in the totally opposite direction, how do you reflect and how do you identify if your thoughts, actions, and feelings are aligned or not?
This is where we look at the consciousness of the soul. Because when I return to my true consciousness, you will find your thoughts, your actions, and your experiences or feelings it's all in alignment.
Hmm.
But if I'm coming from a consciousness of my desires, like I was telling you the story of Sita,
Yes.
that Sita was deceived by a golden deer. She chased the deer. She wanted the deer. She chased the desire
Yes.
for wanting that deer by sending Rama away, by sending Lakshman away, and then Ravan kidnapped her. It's a story,
Yes.
but it's very meaningful in our lives because our desires could take us away from what is truth. And so we get lost into those things. So how do I remain true to myself? And that's our practice, that whatever it is that I experience to be true, as the soul is truth, God is truth, I am truth, and I can experience that, everything will move in a very natural way. It's aligned. But the moment I shift from that, you will find it becomes your shadow and you're trying to chase something. So I've got to see that I stay true to myself in my thoughts, in my words, in my actions, in my life.
And so now I want to know a little bit about the mistakes that people make. What mistakes block the path of manifestation?
The energy. They block the flow through competition, comparing,
Yeah.
criticizing, thinking I know, I am the best, jealousy. All these are like blockages of that pure energy. So, and people use that energy. They manifest wrong things too.
Yes.
Yeah. Or temporary things. But we are not seeking to move in that direction of temporary things and physical things. We're moving in a direction that whatever comes to me, it's coming to me as a blessing. And blessings you don't ask for. Your thoughts, your life, whatever you're doing is automatically and naturally bringing to you blessings. So you're not asking for it. I feel in life we shouldn't be asking for anything. But everything should come in a very natural way. And how it will come in a natural way is through the quality of seeds, by the thoughts I create. And sowing those seeds, my relationship with God, and serve humanity. Serve with a lot of love. But if my goal in life is to achieve the things which are physical, nothing is wrong with that. But know that I would not have a sustainable happiness through all that means. So everyone has their own goals. But I would say my goal is whatever I'm doing is to move to a place within myself where there is that constant stability.
Yes. And definitely, because jealousy and criticism and all these feelings and all these emotions are the energies that vibrate in the lower hertz, that is below 700. So I say this because I've read this book, Power versus Force, by Dr. David Hawkins, I suppose. And in this book, he mentions this map of consciousness, which has caught my eye because it is a table, it is a chart that mentions what emotion vibrates at what energy and what intensity. And so it mentions that courage is the middle line, which vibrates at 300 something hertz. I'm sorry I mentioned 700 first, but that was 300. And below it is all that jealousy and criticism and comparison, all that. Above it comes all the pure and all the very great emotions like happiness, delight, eagerness, not eagerness because that is something that comes from desire, but delight, and then enlightenment is the toppest, the most highest vibrating emotion, which is more than 700, and which is why I always say, and we have got to know from you, that enlightenment is what that comes by connecting to the ultimate power, and that's when you can manifest anything that you want, because that is when you are connected to the God the most, you are connected to the ultimate power the most, and you can easily get what you want, but not with the feeling of getting it, with the feeling of pure thoughts.
See, when you were a little child and you were with your father or your mother, they know naturally what you need, right?
Yes.
They provide for you naturally.
Yes.
You didn't even have to ask. But they know when you're hungry. They know when you need anything in life. So when you are with that supreme source, the source becomes a natural experience that you have what you need. So I just have to hold that company, that relationship, and you feel very fulfilled. So I'm not asking anything, but everything is coming. It's flowing in your life in a very natural way. But that was very beautiful the way you were sharing it.
Thank you.
You shared it with a passion.
Yes. I believe so, because the person you learn from has to be a powerful and a very intense person, because only then you yourself as a learner can feel and then realize that, oh, this is something that I need to know. Because whenever I learn anything from you, you are a person who is very, very, there's an aura, I can see the aura around you. And so now then when I listen to you and I learn from you, I feel it. I feel that it is very important that I implement these things in my life, because as a learner, I am a very, very good person to, absorb things. I have to be a person who learns effectively.
Kaavya, you're amazing.
Thank you.
You are so amazing. To think of you as a 15-year-old, young, 15 years young person.
Thank you so
I
much.
feel that you have such deep wisdom in you. You have such brilliance in you that I don't feel you're learning anything from me. But what you're doing in our sweet conversations, you're natural. That it's just, that's your manifestation.
Yes.
It's just emerging in a very natural way. That we can have this conversation.
Yes.
And you can think we have been having this conversation for years.
Yes.
But it's so recent. But yet it is very, it's full of meaning and very feelingful, as I would say, this conversation.
Thank you so much. This means a lot coming from you, especially. Thank you so much for a very, very wonderful compliment. You made my day, week, month.
Your life.
You're my life. My life. You made my life. Yes.
Because there is that brilliance. And when that brilliance is there, it's very visible. And it's the brilliance of wisdom. The brilliance of the being who is not only seeking to be the best, but the being who knows also that I can be my best. And so you don't have to think too much for anything in life. Let the pure thought be there. The pure actions be there. And when I'm saying pure, it means I'm not chasing after something.
Yes.
I'm not going after anything which is physical. The spiritual brings everything which is physical.
Yes.
And there's a big difference. So stay with that, and you'll find that anything that has to come in your path, which is for your happiness, which is for a life of blessings, naturally it will come.
Thank you. Definitely. Coming back to the series of questions, I still have a very long list of questions, but I will try to make it a little shorter.
Is that right? Okay.
So, can you give us one practice, one spiritual practice that we can perform every day in order to attain this pure, enlightened face connecting to the God, to the Supreme Power?
Very simple things. Just like the traffic light is there, right? You have to stop. You have to know when to pause. Here's the amber sign coming on. What do you do? Here is the green light. What do you do? And here is the red light. What do you do? So you're very clear with that. And you know that if you roll over the red, you could get a ticket.
Yes.
Right? So we call that the traffic lights. Now we have something called the traffic control of the mind. Every hour, if I can pause for 1 minute and just hold a pure affirmation of myself, how would I like to see myself today? Sometimes I go to God and I said, well, how do I see myself today looking at you? And it would be more from the feeling of what I might need today. I will recognize that. But I also know that in this thought process of communication with God, I would also feel what is it that I can receive to fulfill that need. And so we call it traffic control. So I take that through the day and pause every hour. Just pause for a minute. Hold that thought. By the end of the day, you'll be amazed to see your collection because you're aware of your collection. It's an energy that is inside of you that is actually uplifting you. And when you're talking about enlightenment, this is where the soul is moving to that place where I'm consistently and I'm really constant in that enlightened stage. And that's the soul conscious stage. I'm being who I am. But when I come into the consciousness of the physical, which is I get connected so much with the body and all the things that belongs to the body, that enlightened stage becomes the lower vibration. So traffic control helps me to go through my day because we have to live our lives. We're not sitting meditating all day. We have so many things that we have to do. Like this is a huge organization, Global Harmony House.
Yes.
Is a very big center here.
Yes.
And we have a lot of activities that's going on. So we are pretty busy in action. But while I'm engaged, what are my thoughts? Traffic control helps me to keep the traffic clear of my mind.
Yeah.
That if I come against something that doesn't feel right, it gives me the opportunity to feel this power that I need to change it. So that's when I stop. So the stop means check your directions, check your state of being, and flow in the right direction.
Yes, this is where you have the remote control in your own hands.
That's right.
Yes. And so
because we can give that control away to others.
Yes.
And when I give it away to others, I'm empty. I have no control over my own thoughts and my own feelings. Because, you turn on a television and imagine a television tell you to laugh or to cry. How could that have power over you? So it means I have become powerless. So I want to have the power in my own hands that regardless what's happening, I'm in control of my thoughts and my feelings.
This is where being proactive comes into the picture. The 7 habits of highly effective people. I'm sorry, this is something that I need to tell them. You need to tell people. Being proactive is something that I have been spreading all over wherever I go. Because this is something which is important, because you have to keep your emotions, your control in your own hand. The moment you give it to somebody else, the moment you give it to anybody else or any other thing, you become powerless. And you don't have the power to do what you want to do. And the main thing that you have to do is to have that control in your own hand. And as you mentioned, then you can achieve anything and everything in life, because you have the control over your own mind. Thoughts, yes. And so you mentioned being silent for a minute over an hour, like after every hour you need to be silent for a minute. In our last meeting, when I came to the Global Harmony house, very soothing music played every hour, I suppose, and we paused for a minute and we observed silence, and that was something I experienced as pure pause, as you can say. Can you explain why do we do this, and how does it affect us in our mind, in our body?
So that's the traffic control, that like when I stop, if I'm doing something, I try to stop. Why I stop? Because physical things will pull me to keep doing. And my mind is still engaged in those things. So traffic control, I just leave the things for a moment. And I said, let me connect with the divine. Let me connect with the supreme. Let me connect to the highest power. And this practice actually brings me closer to that being, because I'm spending this minute with God. So when I have to come back into actions, it's becoming more and more natural, because we want everything to be natural in our lives. I don't want fake. I don't want it to be, up and down. I want it to be natural. So this helps me to create what I want to experience in my life in a very natural way. I use this method of traffic control.
Traffic control, I will keep this in mind.
The traffic control of my thoughts.
Yes.
And so what starts happening from that, you will find that you're collecting your own spiritual power together. And by the end of the day, you feel a lot more better.
Yes. Jumping to a question, sorry.
One more thing to add to that is, at that moment, you're actually recharging yourself. Like my day started at 3:30 this morning. And I'm going through the whole day with a lot of different activities. The soul needs to be charged with its qualities, with its power. So traffic control also gives me an opportunity to connect, to recharge.
You woke up at 3:30 in the morning.
Yes, I did.
Tell me, okay, keeping the question aside, tell me, is that your routine for every day?
It's my everyday routine. Wake up 3:30 in the morning, come to the meditation center here. This is why I said stepping out and saying good morning to Mother Nature and all souls of the world, because the vibration of that time of the morning is very high. It's very peaceful.
Yes.
It's very serene. And it's a time that you can be with God easily. So I really do enjoy that moment. The morning, the moments of the morning. I call it moments because it is so precious.
Yes.
To spend this time that the world is sleeping, or we're up. And we're up to be with God. We're up to be with ourselves. We're up to know more, dive deeper into our own truth.
Definitely. And so now, jumping to a question that is something that I want to ask too. How can teenagers like me, how can teenagers protect their aura from comparison, peer pressure, competition, all these emotions? How can they protect their own positive aura from this and still be able to manifest their dreams?
Do you have peer pressure?
No, but this is a question that, yes, this is a
Yes.
question that people usually ask.
Yes, because looking at you, I see that life seems pretty easy for you.
It does seem pretty easy, and I try to make it easy because I am connected to the
yes.
supreme power.
Yes, and also because you have a very light-hearted feeling and
Yes.
nature, happy feeling. And so which means that you're not expecting anything from anyone. There isn't a desire that someone should give you something,
True.
someone should pay attention to
True,
me,
true.
someone should, it's like this wanting, this feeling that I need something from someone. And so when you look at the world today, it's a very big problems at school, right? Difficulties with their peers in school, even with the teachers, with everyone. There's a lot of difficulty in that area. And it's good you're an example. Very good that you're an example. And if you look at yourself, you can ask yourself, why I don't have those? And it's not an ego, but it's because you feel supported, you feel sustained, you feel that you don't need, it's not that you have to give me
Yes.
so that I feel fulfilled.
Yes.
But you're always listening to you, and since we have met, I feel you have this generosity of heart to give. You want to serve, you want to give. Like even in this session, you're thinking how to benefit everyone.
Yes.
And so if this is your core value of helping others, you will never be in those situations. And so I would say to all those listening, all the young people, feel that whatever you need in life, you have it. You have it. Just take these moments and go within. Find that true place inside. And any treasure of life that you need, just think about it and it will emerge.
Wow.
I think of peace. I am peaceful. I will just feel the vibrations of peace. I'm challenged by love in relationship. Let me go back and check myself and feel the love that I have within me and God, and that is the love that will flow. So whatever it is that I feel I don't have, I move within myself. I have it. Let me share it. And that's the means of it being multiplied or increased or becoming abundance in my life.
Wow. That is one of the most precious information, knowledge, I can say, we have received so far. Because I said one of, because there's a lot that we have learned in this podcast. And so now I would like to jump to the conclusion section of the podcast. And here's where I am starting this section called the Fast 5 round. And because this is the very first podcast, I would like to ask you some little big questions, but they again have to be answered in, a single short idea. These are some rapid fire questions, as I call them. Fast 5. I'll ask you 5 questions and you can answer in one word, one sentence, or a short idea. Should we start? Let's go. If you had to choose one thought that every person should start their day with, what would the thought be?
I am peaceful.
Beautiful. What is one spiritual habit that instantly raises a person's vibrations?
Share with humanity.
Yes. What is one thing people should immediately stop doing if they want to protect their energy?
Stop thinking from anger.
Yes, definitely.
And I will say, start thinking from peace.
Yes, yes. In one sentence, what does true inner success mean to you? And this could be a little longer because I want to know this too. What is true success, true inner success?
Success is like an end result. And so, what's the experience that whatever it is that I'm doing, the qualities I bring to it, the attainments that comes through it, and so success will be the end result. So you're studying to achieve something, but how you're studying to achieve it. These days, one could cheat to achieve it.
Yes.
But I want to be honest. And so the method that I'm using to reach success, it will definitely be successful.
Wow. Seems like we have learned a lot today, from consciousness to the alignment of thoughts, actions, and feelings to meditation to I don't know what not. We have learned a lot today. I will have to rewind the whole, the clip and to write down notes from it, because this is something that I will definitely use in my book that I'm writing, the WishCraft Manual. And so today was the start of the very first podcast. And this has been a very, very, very successful podcast. And I am encouraged to do many more, because now I know that doing podcasts is not only giving people the knowledge, but it is also giving me the privilege of learning from people like you.
I'm just amazed at you. I'm just amazed.
Thank you.
At what is in the soul that is so beautiful.
Thank you
it's
so
like
much.
Every word you speak, as a young person, it's like it's diamonds. It's precious.
Your words are diamonds, in fact. It's just so spiritual, and I feel like the aura is the vibe has become really spiritual right now. And to end this podcast, I have one last question. I guess that's two, but let's try to make it one. What message would you give to all the listeners who want to start their spiritual manifestation journey today, right now?
In this moment, I would say to the world, it's time to wake up. Time to recognize that what I'm chasing physically is not going to bring me the happiness that I need in my life. I need to take a shift in consciousness and become awakened to my own inner truth, my own inner potential, my own inner strength. Because when this is visible in my divine eye, the eye to see, not the physical eyes, but the inner eye of the soul to see and experience, I will walk the path that will bring me only happiness and not of sorrow. But I have to be ready for that shift and trust it, because spiritual powers, it takes more time. And so, as you were mentioning, patience.
Patience.
But it's there, and I need to spend the time with myself. I need to discover that truth. And I need to trust the highest power, that power is my supreme parent. And that parent has a lot of love for me that I don't even know. But I have to spend the time to be with God so that I can experience that rightful relationship between myself and God.
Last but not the least, how will this global movement, this series, the podcast series of Manifest WishCraft Conversations, how will this change the lives of people, and how can they take what they need from this? In what ways will this change their life?
Because you're holding a very spiritual podcast, you're actually going to help them to think, to see something they have never seen before, and taking time for themselves to want to be a better person, to have a better quality of life, and not a dependent life, but more an independent life. So it has a lot of benefit because spiritual powers are very powerful. Spiritual powers change the world from a negative place to a very happy place. And so I have to trust myself and what I'm doing.
Yes. Wow. Thank you so much. That coming from you was very, very big compliment and big, encouragement for me, because this is just the start of this series and this is the very first podcast. Even though I have started, shooting the podcast and doing interviews, doing conversations with people, but this is the one where I feel the real start has happened. And I feel that the coming podcasts that I have planned, that I have been shooting, will be the most precious ones, because some of them are the people who I have worked with in the past as an actress, and they know who I am as a person, and they will be the ones to reflect on their own journey, and they will kind of be similar to what my journey is like. So this will be amazing, and thank you.
You are a very good source of inspiration.
Thank you so much.
And so I can see that whatever you're doing is going to inspire millions of people. Keep touching their hearts with your happiness, with your peaceful vibrations, and they will take away a lot for their own lives.
Thank you so much. This means a lot that you have been the first guest for my very first podcast. Thank you so much for being a part of this journey.
In this powerful launch episode, Sister Anjani shares the essence of true spirituality, cultivating pure thoughts, trusting that the God already knows your deepest needs, living in silent connection through hourly traffic control, and practicing meditation to align yourself with the highest universal energy. These teachings remind us that the more silent, pure, and inwardly connected we are, the more effortlessly life begins to flow. From today's launch episode with Sister Anjani, the spiritual teacher of Brahma Kumaris from New York, we learn that when you embody these practices and manifest from this state of purity, you naturally rise to the highest level of success. And so from today, we have learned a lot, and please subscribe to the channel, like my videos, and share them, because this knowledge is really important for you to succeed in life. Stay blessed, stay happy. Om Shanti.
Kaavya, you're amazing. You have amazed me throughout this podcast.
This is a token of gratitude from my end.
Wow.
I know this, I'm not sure if this is going to be helpful to you or not because it's based on acting, but this is something that's very close to my heart, and I would like to give you something that is close to my heart because you have become close to my heart, and I am gifting you something that is very precious to me.
You're close, and this will also be close.
Thank you so much.
And this, it's not about acting, but it's about you being the soul and the soul being an actor also in this body.
Thank you. And
So you're a double actor.
thank you so much. This is something.
Please come here.
This is from my mom to you. And we are very, very grateful that you are here today in this podcast, being the very first guest of mine. Look at her.
Our heart's desire is fulfilled.
Yes, definitely. It has
Our
been
heart's
fulfilled.
desire is fulfilled.
Thank you so much for being today.
It's something that is very visible. You're actually seeing it today. It's very physical, it's very gross in a way. And that is the anger, and the greed, and the arrogance, all these negative energies. It's just flowing in the world. It's like a contagious disease today. And one can't even discern if it's the right thing to do or the right thing to be today.